Yo, what is going on, everybody? It's your boy X coming at y'all with a brand new video, and as you guys can see right here by the screen, we're doing another tier list. So if you guys are excited, make sure you guys smash the like button down below. If you guys want to check out any of the other tier lists that we've done, some of them may be a little outdated because there's some new cards and things like that came out, but still, if you want a general gist of where I think cards are rated, we have the point guards, shooting guards, small forwards, power forwards, and center tier list linked in the description down below. And in this phone, we are going to be doing the Galaxy Opals tier list. Also, we are recording this on Easter, so if you're watching it on Easter, happy Easter to everybody there. I did my own little, I guess, making it festive for the video, but throwing down a little set of Easter eggs down here, so hopefully that's a little bit fun and adds a touch for some of you guys. But again, just have a great Easter, have some fun with it, and let's get into the tier list. I've switched up a bit of the names, so we'll show you guys here. Starting off in the D tier, we have the Water Boys. I thought it would be fun. We're ranking all the best I guess Galaxy Opals, so I thought it'd be fun to call the worst people here Water Boys. The next one we have the, that's in the wrong order. That's in the wrong order, just pretend you didn't see that. We have the holds the towels for the squad. Obviously, we got the towel boys out there. We have the Water Boys, the guys that are going to hand you the Gatorade. Then we have the guys that are just going to hold the towel for you. Then we have the players that can keep the bench warm. The guys that you throw on those last 3 spots because, you know, they're probably not going to touch the game too much. You know, those guys that come in when there's only like 30 seconds left and you're up by 25. Next up, we have the only play when the demons are in foul trouble up here, or A tier for the non-fun people. And then obviously the top tier is going to be the demons. So without further ado, let's show everybody in the Water Boys tier. Boom, here we go. So obviously being one of the worst Galaxy Opals, or being one of the worst best Galaxy Opals, I know it sounds weird because we have a positive and a negative in there, but he's just they're the best of the worst. So like, they're still really good cards. We have Galaxy Opal Donovan Mitchell, Galaxy Opal Fred Brown, Galaxy Opal Shaquille O'Neal, Galaxy Opal Russell Westbrook, Galaxy Opal Kevin McHale. I don't know why I keep saying Galaxy Opal because it's the Opal tier list. Paul Pierce, Andre Iguodala, and Chris Paul. So I'll just go through a little bit. With Chris Paul and Donovan Mitchell, that's a little bit undersized. I like their jumpers. I think they're nice. They have some pretty good defense and surprisingly good slashing, but I'm just not really feeling either of them. They are undersized, and there's no way I'm going to be running them, especially compared to some of the other Opal PGs that we have that you guys will see later on. I like them. I think they're fun, but they're definitely not great. Fred Brown is just kind of like a worse Kyrie Irving. I think he's a worse pink diamond Kyrie Irving, so it's not too great, but he's still a decent card. Shaquille O'Neal is probably one of the best back-to-the-basket bigs that we have in the game right now that still can't shoot, which is cool, but I still don't think he's absolutely amazing. Westbrook, even with the quick timing, I don't think is amazing. I just don't love the card. Lacks a lot of badges, lacks a lot of stats for me. No, thank you. Kevin McHale is hurt by the fact that you can't really add a lot of badges to him, or that you have to add a lot of badges to him, and there's only a limited amount of spots. You know, like quick first step, things like that, and he only has the normal release timing on his trade break base, which is pretty tough. Paul Pierce, never really jumps out to me and has terrible finishing, which kind of sucks. A great 3-and-D player, but I wish he had more finishing because most cards nowadays can do everything. And Andre Iguodala, I just hate his release. I know some people like Iggy. They think he's fun, but every single time an Iggy card drops, I get really excited for it, and then I'm just super disappointed every single year. His jumper just, it needs to go. It's not good. So, starting off the holds the towels for the squad, where our towel boys up in here. Starting off with Jeremy Lin. This Jeremy Lin is a surprisingly good card that I actually find a lot of fun using. He's a great slasher. Actually, a really great slasher. Dunks at everybody. Jump shot 40 is pretty cool. Still not my favorite off the dribble shot, but I have respect for it now. A little bit lacking on the defensive end, but you know, he's still a fun card. I just don't think that, again, he's as amazing as some of the other guys that we have in here. Next up is Galaxy Opal Jamal Murray. His diamond was one of the most fun cards to use in the entire game when he did drop. The Opal, still a fun one, but jump shot 80 is slightly slow, especially compared to some of the jumpers that we're getting on a lot of the other cards. The Curry slide is cool, he's fun, but just doesn't jump out to me as anything amazing when I'm actually using him. It's another position of like, we have so many Opal PGs that somebody has to take the L and fall lower down. Next up, Galaxy Opal James Harden, a card who just doesn't have a good release. I just don't like James Harden's release, and that's really about it. There's nothing that he does bad other than having a baited jumper, and obviously when we're ranking the best cards, I can't have a baited jumper guy up here above, you know, holding the towels for the boys. So, I'm sorry, but it is what it is. Next up, we have Galaxy Opal Bob Lanier. Bob Lanier, actually a pretty solid card. Pretty fun. He's a token reward card, but I still wouldn't recommend buying any of the Opal token market cards. Bob Lanier has an okay jumper. I actually think it's kind of nice, and he's a really good defender, really good post guy, really just good in general card for the paint. But if you're going to go with somebody, I think your better bet is Moses Malone, which is tough. But overall, if you have the tokens to buy an Opal reward card like myself, I personally would just advise you just wait it out. Next up, another one of the token market cards we have is Galaxy Opal Gary Payton. Now, Gary Payton is a good guy, obviously, because he has amazing defense, jump shot. John Wall is really, really good. That John Wall base is super money. But Gary Payton just never jumped out to me as being one of those like next level insane cards in the game. Like, yeah, he's fun, yeah, he's cool, but am I really that excited about him? Not really. He's kind of just, again, a worse Opal John Wall. Doesn't finish as well, doesn't even shoot as well at all. Just a really good defender and playmaker, which you can kind of get out of most cards at this point in the year. Next up is Galaxy Opal Glitch Rajon Rondo, one of the cards that just dropped with the newest set, and I think he's actually a really fun, really good card in general. Rondo, if you can get used to his jumper on very quick, is money, and he's got really good defender for a guy his size, but the fact that I have to say that for a guy his size, it's kind of tough. I've seen a lot of people say that they're really finding some luck with Rondo, and he's fun, he's cool, he really helps them out, so that's great, and I hope a lot of you guys are having fun with him. But personally, I still think that he's only holding the towels for the boys, because you'll see some of the PGs we have later are definitely a lot better. Next up, Galaxy Opal Chris Webber, a card that, you know, was good when he first came out, but I don't think personally I ever was like super impressed with Chris Webber. Like, yeah, he's got the Kemba Walker jump shot base, which is a nice jumper. He's really lightning quick and was one of the first cards that we had that could really like do it all and not lack whatsoever, but it's not really saying too much. I know a lot of people like Chris Webber, and some people did lock him in, but if we're being honest, he definitely is on the lower end of the Opals at this point, because we're getting so many cards that are just absolutely insane. Next up is Galaxy Opal Spencer Haywood, who I think is a pretty good card for what he's supposed to do well, but I would love if he was like a power forward, small forward, not a center power forward. I think that's kind of a big L for him, honestly, like a pretty big L for him. I wish they mixed that up a little bit. Luckily, though, they did change the big hot zone, I guess, glitch, if you want to call it that they had on our man's Spencer Haywood, which is pretty good, and it also just kind of happened that he dropped one of the best cards. Great slasher, great defender, but I don't know. Spencer Haywood doesn't jump out to me as being like anything too amazing, especially with some of the power forwards that we're getting at this time. Next up is Galaxy Opal Clyde Drexler, and this one it came to be a really tough decision for me. I don't know what it is, but it seems to be a lot of the free cards that 2K has been giving out start off feeling like this really good, amazing card that I can do everything with and just absolutely kill it, and then like a week or two later, they feel terrible, and it's starting to happen to this Clyde Drexler. I know he's got the shifty dribble style, he's got the Curry slide, jump shot 5 is nice, but there's just something about Clyde Drexler right now where he's not playing great for me, so I moved him down from where he probably could be ranked at keep the bench warm down to the hold the towels for the squad. I don't know. Again, great slasher, okay shooter, okay defender, okay and everything else. I don't know. Hasn't been playing the same recently for me. I don't know what it is. Next up, starting off to keep the benches warm is Hedo Turkoglu. I know a lot of people hate Hedo because they hate the LaMarcus Aldridge jumper, and I get it. I relate. Well, I don't really relate because I love the jumper, but I understand why people are having the problems that they are with Hedo and why they don't like him. But he's got the Curry slide, the shifty dribble style. If you can get the jumper down, it's absolutely money, and he's like a 6'10" forward. Like, what is there not to love other than that jumper? I really love this Hedo Turkoglu card, and I will fight to keep him in the keep the bench warm, because I low-key was going to put him in only play when the demons are in foul trouble, but I knocked him down a tier because I understand that the jumper is one that you got to get used to. So I love it, and I think he can be up here, but I understand for most people he's probably in the keep the bench warm. Next up is Galaxy Opal Klay Thompson, the definition of a 3-and-D card in 2K, which is not wrong at all. I mean, Klay's got a money jumper. He's a really good defender, but he's just not the cheesiest of cards, if that makes too much sense to a lot of you guys. I like him. I think he's cool, but Diamond Klay does exactly everything else that he can, and I feel like because of that, there's no way that I can throw him up higher when you're basically just like a slightly better diamond. So Klay's cool, but again, another one of those cards where it's like if you locked it in, you're probably regretting it a little bit now, unless you pull a bunch of packs and it doesn't really matter. Next up is Galaxy Opal Dominique Wilkins, who definitely was a huge upgrade from the Pink Diamond Dominique, and I did recently pick him up to do his XP challenges, and he was amazing, man. Once you get used to that jumper, it's over. We have a 6'7" guy who can play the 2, who has a 97 speed and dunks on everybody. Lightning quick, obviously, and was a really solid defender when I use him as well. Hall of Fame Intimidator and Clamps really helps out. Jump shot 8, I know is not the people's favorite, but when you got the Curry slide and a slasher as good as Dominique, it can always be really fun. Next up is a Galaxy Opal LeBron James. Now, we did get LeBron James's Opal and T-Mac's Opal at the exact same time, and we did get an upgrade, obviously, just very, very recently for T-Mac, so I'd expect that LeBron's probably getting an upgrade very, very soon, and once we do, Dark Matter LeBron is obviously going to be up there in like that Demon next level tier, and is going to be a huge step up from this LeBron, so I kind of put that one down here expecting it. Also, LeBron James is great, but whenever I've used him or even gone against him, he hasn't seemed like that next level, like super cheesy card that's really going to break out. He's kind of just seemed, especially at this point, of just a really good card that's like good at everything, but just not amazing at anything other than slashing. LeBron's jumper is great, massive green window, but overall, I think he can just keep the bench warm. Next up is Galaxy Opal Billy Cunningham, who's kind of like the sad cousin of Zion Williamson, where he's a 6'6", power forward, small forward, supposed to be like really cheesy when it comes to just defense and overall athleticism, getting the basket and dunking and everybody. But the thing is, they gave him the Blake Griffin jumper, which I wouldn't call absolutely amazing, especially because it's only on quick. It's just okay, man. I'm not a huge fan of Billy Cunningham. I did actually get him myself off the Ascension board, and he's cool. He's actually pretty fun. He's a great all-around card, but at 6'6", you need to be like next level cheesy like Zion to really be great, but still, I think he's a solid card and can keep the bench warm if he wants to. Next up is Galaxy Opal Jerry Sloan, who was a card that I really... I was jumping around so many different ways to try to fit this Jerry Sloan into the only play when the demons are in foul triple tier, or like the A tier. I was really trying to do it, but they've been dropping a lot of cards who kind of can do what Jerry Sloan can do, and then once I really like looked at it, his low interior defense is what made me put him down into the, B tier or the keep the bench warm tier. But the reason I love Jerry Sloan, and why I was trying so hard to get him up there, is he has a 90 driving dunk with some of the best slashing I've ever seen, has amazing speeds, the defense goes unreal aside from that interior, which is a 52, really tough. Like, everything else but his block is 95 or above in defense. That is a 94 shot 3 with jump shot 70, one of the best green window jumpers in the game on quick, the Curry slide, and the long athlete layup package, some of the best tendencies you see. But that lack of interior at this point really hurts him. I love this Jerry Sloan. I'm using him all the time, and he is money. And I'll shoot like 70% in a Hall of Fame domination right now, or mystery domination with this Jerry Sloan. Like, he is godly. But when we're getting cards recently like Rondo, who have a 77 interior defense, that definitely is hurting a bit. Next up in the B tier, we have Galaxy Opal Deadlift Shrimp, who's another one of those, I think, jump shot 40 cards that we do have in the game, which is pretty cool. And Deadlift Shrimp is obviously just a really fun card to use because he's a great shooter. But the great thing about the Opal is they actually switched that jump shot 40 to Danilo Gallinari and gave him the Curry slide. After finding out how much everybody loved Gallinari, his jumper, they obviously gave it to this Deadlift Shrimp. But it makes him a demon because he's already 6'9", a 7-foot wingspan, and now you make him one of the best shooters with all his Hall of Fame badges and then give him that. It's great. The only thing that's a little bit tough is he's not the greatest of slashers or defenders. He still can do those pretty well, like he's good, but compared to some other guys that we're getting, not amazing. So I'm going to put him in the keep the bench warm tier. But that's just a pure shooter and just getting all the greens in the world. I definitely think he's one of the better ones we got here. Next up is Galaxy Opal Nikola Jokic, and this is a card that I put down in to keep the bench warm tier because I felt like I needed to differentiate a lot of the centers and show who I think is at certain tiers. So Jokic, I think, being worse than some of the other Opal centers that we got, found himself down here. I think we have 2 to 3 in this tier up here, and I think 1, maybe 2 up into here. So obviously I didn't want to have too many, so I moved Jokic down. And I know some people on current gen don't love set shot 14 on Jokic. I personally think it's a great jumper, but I am on next gen, so who knows. I still think he's great. Super cheesy. He's a great shooter, okay defender, good slasher, good post guy, but I understand that the jumper is a little bit here or there for some people. Next up is Galaxy Opal Scotty Pippen, who got a step down because there's a guy in here who I think is a big step up from Scotty Pippen. The only boost that you get with Scotty is the fact that he can play the shooting guard, but Scotty's got a baited jumper. If they gave it to him on very quick, which Scotty dropped before everybody was getting very quick, I think he would be absolutely insane. Jump shot 30 is just a little bit too slow, even on quick still. It needs that very quick timing. But Scotty Pippen is going to be one of the best defenders to use in the game, especially on the perimeter, and still holds it down inside. Stupid quick, can play make really well, and dunks on everybody, obviously, and still isn't a slouch from 3, but you got to be aware of the fact that his jumper it's baited, and you got to be ready for it. Next up is Galaxy Opal Juan Carlos Navarro, who is actually insane, who is just a big step up from Galaxy Opal Dwayne Wade because he has the jumper on quick, and I think has the Curry slide as well, which is really nice and really fun. Juan Carlos Navarro, super slept on card, but is a super dope card nonetheless. I think if you go and check him out, he is like less than 100k, which is kind of crazy. So if you want to have some fun and mess around with a really cool PG who has jump shot 98 basically on quick, this is your chance. So next up, we have two cards that I kind of consider almost the exact same in Galaxy Opal Hakeem Olajuwon and Galaxy Opal Anthony Davis. And the reason I kind of consider these guys two in the same is because the only thing you really get are some slight differences in badges here or there and animations. Hakeem is a little bit more clunky with his animations, doesn't have as smooth of things, whereas Anthony Davis obviously has a really nice jumper, really nice dribbling animations, things like that for a center. But they're both kind of those like glitched guys that we first got to be really, really, really cheesy centers, and they're still really fun. They have gold range and things like that to really kind of kill it out there. Still their post gods and still are lightning quick and slash. If I had to tell you which one I like a little bit more, it would be Davis, but to me, they're pretty equal on their level of play. Starting off the A tier, we have Galaxy Opal Vince Carter, who has one of the best green window jumpers in the entire game with his, obviously, Vince Carter jumper. It's super nice, it's super fun, and he's a great slasher as well. But the jumper is a little bit slow, which is why I kept him out of the demon tier. His stats and everything like that shout out being a absolutely insane like demon tier level card, but he definitely needs a bit of a quicker jumper for that, in my opinion. Next up, Galaxy Opal Steph Curry, who is in here for one reason and one reason only, and that is the Curry jumper, period. Like, oh, it's just so good, man. I know some people don't love Curry cards because, you know, they're not good defenders and things like that, which can be true to a certain extent, but when you have a card like Curry, whose jumper is just so smooth, so clean, and even his off dribble is like the best in the game, I just have to use him every single time. This Opal Curry literally does not miss. I know people love the Luka and things like that, but still, I want a Curry train all day. He's just so fun. Next up is the card that I think is a better Scotty Pippen, and it is Galaxy Opal Rudy LaRusso. I've seen so many people dogging on Rudy LaRusso who don't even actually have the card and are just talking so trash about it. But Rudy is a card who has the jump shot 21 or the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar jumper on very quick timing, has the quick dribble style as well as the long athlete layup package, has demon-like shooting, 89 3-point shot with that lightning quick jumper, and all of his Hall of Fame shooting badges is amazing. He dunks on everybody, 90s in his speed, and has every single defensive badge besides Worm already on gold, and half of those, or actually 60% of those, are Hall of Fame. You know, like Clamps, Heart Crusher, Intimidator, Interceptor, Pick Dodger, Rebound Chaser. Absolutely insane. And he just does everything super well for me. This is the first card on the exchange that I can truly say I recommend picking up because I have him myself, and there's not a game that I don't use Rudy on my squad because he is just that fun and that good. Rudy LaRusso, a demon. Next up is Galaxy Opal Michael Redd, who is another one of those Ray Allen jump shot base cards who, I don't know, for some reason to me, every time we have a Michael Redd card, there's just a level that I expect him to play to that he just doesn't for me. I know people love him, and it might be blasphemous that I have somebody ranked up a little bit higher than him to some people, but I couldn't tell you what it is. Michael Redd is just a pretty good slasher, really good shooter because he has that rail and base. He's quick, and he's going to be a good defender on there. Has a lot of nice Hall of Fame badges, especially in the shooting. They just juiced up the shooting because I said, you know what, to hell with it. Gave him a little bit of playmaking and finishing as well. But, you know, he's just a great card all around. I think his defensive tendencies could be a little bit higher to fix some of the things that he's lacking at a little bit. But I don't know. Micro red cards to me always have these amazing stats and just look great, but just never play as good in game, which is, I don't know, a little bit disappointing. Next up, Galaxy Opal Magic Johnson. Obviously, every time we get a Magic card besides the earlier pink diamonds when they don't have clamps, it's always in the top 2 tiers every single time, and that's no different with Magic. Magic still, in my opinion, isn't the best PG in the game, but he can be up there in like the top 3 to 5 conversation. He obviously is going to get to the basket every single time he wants to, has crazily good dribbling animations. He can shoot the 3 from deep, which is great. Sadly, his Magic Johnson jumper sucks though. And obviously the post siege with Magic, like always, is super, super good. Nothing not to love, really, on Magic. Next up, Galaxy Opal John Wall, obviously, who I said is just a better Gary Payton. One of the best shooters you could find in the game with that John Wall jumper. He slashes the basket lightning quick and is the fastest card in the entire game, which how could you not love? Obviously, massive like 50-hour grind to get John Wall, but if you are a no money spent player, it's quite worth it. Unless you're going for the slightly easier to do grind and get Fat Lever. Galaxy Opal Fat Lever is actually kind of insane. Fat Lever has the Dante X and base on quick, which is why everybody loves it, and he also has the Curry slide, a 94 shot 3, a bunch of amazing Hall of Fame badges, including range and hot zone hunter, which is awesome. Has some of the best defense you'll find on a PG right now in the game. Almost every single playmaking badge is on gold, and most of those being Hall of Fame, and still is going to be an amazing slasher, and is only an inch shorter than John Wall. So you're trading off a little bit of speed from a 99 to a 97, a little bit of dunking from like a 98, 99 to an 85, but then you get one of the best jumpers in the game with that Dante X and base, and boom, you have Fat Lever. So personally, I probably would go for Fat Lever because instead of doing the Spotlight Sims Hall of Fame grind, you can just go through and get 1,250 wins, which most of you guys should be a lot closer than that in Triple Threat offline, and boom, you have one of the better PGs in the game who's free. Next up is Galaxy Opal Devin Booker, who they juiced the hell up. So Devin Booker used to have jump shot 4 on quick, which I already thought was a great jumper, but then they gave him the Colin Sexton, Dirk Nowitzki new jumper, jump shot 94 on quick, with the Curry slide and the long athlete layup package, and he's just absolutely insane, man. He has some of the best shooting you could find. He is an amazing finisher, amazing playmaker, and a pretty good defender as well, which is kind of crazy. Like, I didn't think getting an Opal Devin Booker would be that great. Usually Booker cards are kind of just like meh for the most part, but this one, it's kind of nice. Devin Booker is kind of redeeming himself with this card right here. If you haven't picked him up and tried him out, I would highly recommend it. Next up is a Galaxy Opal Brandon Ingram, who is probably one of my favorite cards to use right now in 2K, just because Ingram's kind of disgusting. I actually picked up the card to do his XP challenges a little bit before recording this video, and it might have been the easiest time I've ever had, and I did it in Hall of Fame domination, or Mystery Dom, because Ingram is a 6'7" shooting guard with a 7'3" wingspan, and has jump shot 75, which is an amazing jumper. Some of the best shooting with Hall of Fame blinders, which is steady, so obviously it's a little bit tough over there, and stupid quick, and has great all-around finishing. The one thing that's tough is, again, we only are maxing out at gold clamps. You can upgrade it to Hall of Fame if you wanted to, and we don't have the greatest defensive tendencies, but when he makes the Curry slide with jump shot 75, in my opinion, one of the easiest to tom jumpers in the game, it's pretty good, especially when you're 6'7" at the 2. Next up is Galaxy Opal David Robinson. So David Robinson is obviously great because his David Robinson jumper kind of feels like that, you know, Rudy Gay, super smooth, super nice, easy to time jumper, which everybody kind of loves to have on a card. Then is lightning quick, one of the best defenders in the post and on the perimeter, comes with Hall of Fame clamps, and he's just going to be a great card all around. But there are a few centers that I think are a little bit better than him, which is tough, but D-Rob is still my starting center. So, you know, and that's just because I'm cheap, honestly. Next up is Galaxy Opal Paul George. In my opinion, is the best 3&D card in the game, aside from a new guy that actually just came out who's a pink diamond, which is kind of crazy. It's kind of nutty. But PG obviously has the Paul George jump shot on quick, which is going to be fun. It's going to be money. It's going to be that jumper that you really like. And then because it's Paul George, he's going to have some of the best defense in the entire game that you could possibly ask for, which, I mean, that's always a fun time, if you're being honest. It's Paul George. Curry slide, Paul George base, some of the best defense, still going to slash the basket, be absolutely insane. PG's a demon, PG's fun, like, why would you not want him? And last but not least, in our only play when the demons are in foul trouble is Galaxy Opal Pau Gasol, who, in my opinion, sometimes can outplay David Robinson on the offensive end. You're going to be lacking a little bit of defense. You're only having gold clamps compared to the Hall of Fame on D-Rob, but the Pau Gasol jumper on quick is one of the best jumpers I've kind of used in the game, and then you just get that all-around wonderful, I guess, shifty speed boosts that you could have, the amazing post game, the slashing to the basket like crazy, and just one of the best shooters all around in the center position. Love myself some Pau Gasol. Now, starting off our demon tier, we have Andre Karolinko, who is honestly probably one of my favorite cards, period, every single year. So extremely biased to AK-47, and if you don't like it, I really don't care. Jump shot 98 on quick, has a shifty dribble style, some of the best dribbling animations that doesn't include the Curry slide, dunks and everybody, shoots amazing, and is just all around perfect. He is that glue guy that you need on your squad to do everything if you're somebody that sometimes struggles a little bit. But honestly, man, I'm just in love with Andre Karolinko. He's like, seriously, my favorite card, period, in 2K. I love him. Next up is Galaxy Opal Wes Unseld. Kobe Bryant base, Curry slide, and basically is a center that can do everything, but he's better at the power forward. Wes Unseld is the best card that you can get out of the Spotlight Sims. Sorry, John Wall, but it's Wes Unseld. Man, he's just so cheesy. He's a 6'7" guy that plays the power forward, and there's really nothing that he can't do on the court already. Having the Curry slide, having the amazing slashing, Hall of Fame range, some of the best defense you could possibly have, and his player build is one of those big, bulky guys who's going to stop everybody in the post as well. And if you run this Wes Unseld, you kind of run like a switch everything defense, which is really clutch. Next up is the best PG in the entire game, still, Galaxy Opal Luka Doncic. The great thing about Luka is obviously that he has the Dante Exum base, which, I mean, why wouldn't you love? But he still has the Curry slide on top of that amazing jumper. He's 6'7" at the PG, so there's literally nothing that he can't do or stop. And, I mean, yeah, there's nothing Luka can't do already. The fact that there's going to be an eventual, dark matter Luka kind of makes me scared because I really don't know how he can get better, but he will, and it'll be terrifying. Opal Luka, still the best. Next up is Galaxy Opal Kawhi Leonard, who, in my opinion, just feels better than Michael Redd. He's Michael Redd with just a little bit of a better oomph to him. I don't know what it is, but Kawhi just has like a defensive stance and the super long arms that for some reason makes him just one of the best defenders in the entire game. If I'm ever having a problem with a card, I throw Kawhi on it, and then he absolutely shuts it down, and then still has that Curry slide, has a Ray Allen jumper to do whatever I needed to do on offense as well. Just seriously, one of my favorite cards to run. Maybe it's a little bit of bias keeping him in Demon, but who knows. Next up is Galaxy Opal Julius Randle, who is the Triple Threat Online card right now, and it couldn't get better than this for a free card. Jump shot 47 on quick is amazing. The Curry slide, some of the best slashing you could find, and he's basically just like a slightly shorter Joel Embiid who can speed boost in Curry slide. And if that doesn't sound amazing to you, I don't know what kind of crack you're on, honestly. But either way, Julius Randle is super fun, it's super cheesy, and it's seriously, if you get him on that Triple Threat Online board, I recommend doing the ball drop glitch, link in the description down below, which will help you get him because you do not want to miss out if he pops up on your board. I've seen so many people tweeting about it. Make sure you do it. That way you can guarantee getting Julius Randle eventually. Next up, Galaxy Opal Giannis Antetokounmpo. Obviously, a Giannis that comes with gold range is going to be one of the best cards in the game every single time, and he comes with some of the best slashing and defense in the entire game. And actually, Giannis' jumper, pretty money, pretty easy to time this year, so it's actually pretty terrifying anytime you go against this Giannis, because if you see Phil Jackson on the bench, just quit. Like, do yourself a favor and just quit. But next up is Galaxy Opal Dirk Nowitzki, obviously the best center in the game, other than the two new Dark Matters. Here, I'll say the best Galaxy Opal center in the game. That works for me. Dirk Nowitzki just has that jump shot 94 or Colin Sexton jumper, which is obviously insane. Some of the best shooting and just all-around offense, I would say, in the game at the center position, and still play some really solid defense. Dirk is just super cheesy, super nice, and if you use David Robinson, you want to step up, you got Dirk. if you don't want to spend a lot of it on like a dark matter. And last but not least, in the Demons here, we have Galaxy Opal Kermit Washington, who was the triple threat offline vault card, who has the Dante Exum base and the Curry slide. He's basically a Luka that can play the power forward and small forward, and I've dreaded every time I've gone up against him. Now, the only thing that sucks about Kermit is you have to add like a range center and things like that, but he's the one card that I'm factoring that in to him already, because once you do, he becomes an absolute demon. Throw some Kobe shooting shoes on him and then gold range at least, and you're going to have one of the best feeling cards in the entire game. So that's what we got right now for the Galaxy Opal tier list. Let me know what you guys think about it down in the comment section below. Would you move some guys up, move some guys down? And also, let me know what you guys think about the names for each of the tiers. I'm trying to mix them up every now and then. If you have any suggestions for some of them, let me know down in the comment section below. It could be pretty fun. And make sure you guys check out the point guards, the shooting guards, the small forwards, the power forwards, and the center tier list linked in the description down below, as well as the ball drive video that we just talked about. If you enjoyed, like. If you are new, subscribe. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Have a happy Easter, and I'll see y'all in the next video.